welcome to episode 81 of Anime and Us. I'm TJ.
And I'm Shawn.
And this is the review show that reviews anime from A to Z. Sort of.
Alright guys, last episode, almost a week. I feel like every episode, when I'm about to say episode, I almost say week. Every time. Anyway, we got category U, Ultramarine Magmell. It's terrible. Don't watch it. Let's continue. It's a manhwa, not a manga, which means it's Chinese.
Oh.
And then it was made into an anime, a traditional type of
What's
anime.
the difference between a manhwa and an anime?
One's from Japan and one's from China.
Is
For the
that-
most part, that's the difference. But there are other differences, like most mangas are black and white, whereas most, at least modern manhwas, are full color. But not always.
Does manhwa translate into anime?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
It was written and illustrated by Chinese artist Danin Bio. Sorry.
It did feel different.
Yes, it did feel quite a bit different.
Didn't feel like an anime. It did feel...
As we're watching it, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I think this might be a manhwa.
Oh.
Because I've seen a couple of animes that were made for manhwas, and they've always got a different feel to them.
Okay.
It aired from April 7th to June 30th of 2019.
Oh, so this was relatively new.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I watched the first episode when it released on Netflix.
Oh.
Like the day it released. I was like, oh, that could be interesting. I watched the first episode and I clicked the f*** off of it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there's nothing really redeeming about this. It's meh across the board.
Yeah,
and it's bad in some areas.
I took away from it. I didn't have trouble watching it though.
Yeah, and neither did I. You can put it on and
it was
sort of pay
just
attention to it.
meh and average.
Like I was saying, meh across the board, and sometimes it's bad.
Yeah, it's
There's nothing good. The art's okay. I mean, I guess the art's good.
Yeah, it's pretty.
There's no fault there.
But honestly, in this day and age, all animes are kind of pretty nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays you're really lagging behind if your art's behind.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to say, oh, it's a bad anime, but it looks pretty because everything looks pretty.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway,
premise.
Yes,
I said it, so you have to say it.
All right, so premise.
A continent appears. A continent, not an island. A continent appears.
Yes.
Off the shore of their country. I don't know what country they're actually in. I don't know if they say it. I don't remember hearing it.
I don't know.
I would assume it's China just because it's from China.
Yeah, I just assumed that it raised in the middle of one of the oceans and they were just...
Yeah. But the continent is 5 miles away. You just hop in a little helicopter and fly over to it or get in a boat. So it's not very far and you can see it from your shoreline. He's not even at the shoreline, technically.
Yeah,
he's building,
but technically they could be in Africa and Asia.
It doesn't really matter. Either way, it's not that far.
I'm just saying
that's a little odd that the continent is that close. But whatever.
A continent just rose from the ocean. It's a little odd regardless.
And on the continent, it's kind of like Jumanji in the sense that everything's wild and bad and things are weird. And they do specific things. No, in Jumanji, you'll have a certain plant that does a certain thing.
I know, but...
And it'll kill you.
Jumanji's a freaking board game.
Well, Jumanji, the place, not the board game, obviously. I'm not talking about the board game part of it. But when you get sucked in and you go to Jumanji...
Oh, is that the new one?
Yeah, they did it. They did it in the original one too.
Not really. Everything.
Robin Williams got sucked in and spent 40 years there. Yes, he did.
Well,
that's exactly what happened.
No,
the movie didn't follow that, but it is what happened.
What?
When Robin Williams comes out of the game in the original one, he spent 40 years inside it, in the world, living.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you got to watch Jumanji again.
Anyway, still a bad analogy.
No, it works. Anyway,
no.
But there's you're on this island. Everything does specific things. There's new animals, new everything. Plants do weird things, and for the most part, people go adventuring there because things are worth a lot of money. Maybe there's a plant that'll cure you.
Yeah, or there's an animal or poison.
There's a bird that
cures poison and stuff like that.
A bunch of weird shit like that. But because people just go there and there's super dangerous, people die. Well, our hero Inyo, something like that. I don't remember. Incest. I forget what his name is.
It's not that.
It's something like that.
Not that at all, actually, but okay.
He's called a wrangler. There's another word for it, too, and I forget what it is. But essentially, when someone gets lost or needs help, he gets called in to go.
Which doesn't make any sense, because you need a license to go into this place.
But he doesn't need one.
But you need a license to explore the island, but you don't need a license to go save people who are exploring the island.
That doesn't really quite make sense.
No.
He has an ability where he can make black lightning out of his fingertips, and then shit appears out of it.
He can create
like a knife or
create things out of. Well, I don't remember what they're called, but
I forget the ability's name too.
They're essentially MacGuffin. Well, you need something, we can just make it.
Yeah. For some reason, after this continent appeared, people got powers, or a small amount of people.
Oh, we don't know that. They could have had powers beforehand.
Maybe. I doubt it.
That, it didn't explain anything. Nope. So It
Not at
could
all.
be anything, really. It's however you want to interpret it, apparently.
He's got a helper that's got the same power as him, and until episode, 10...
Yeah.
Until episode, 10, it's just random short stories that almost have nothing to do with each other.
Almost.
There's 1 or 2 stories that...
I mean, some of the characters come back.
Like the blonde chick with the big tits, that they always reference the fact that she has big tits.
Yeah, that was their character. I mean, and there was, a shopkeeper that they tortured. That poor shopkeeper. And a rich guy that helped them. Mm. And they're introduced... Oh, the rich guy's story was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he, when he was a kid, him and his 2 friends went into the forest.
This was one of the things that I hated about it, though, is that, you're almost trying to give a moral to a story in some of these episodes, and a lot of them. It's you're bad because of this.
Oh, well, that's the thing. Every story has a twist, and the twist is always humanity's bad.
God, I want to eat a bullet.
There's one where this one guy loves all the animals on the island, and these other 2 guys are video themselves killing animals. I mean,
we hate this kind of thing, exposition type. And what's the word where they're trying to put themselves up on a pedestal and explain to you how things should be.
Oh, frick! We use it a lot.
Yeah, we do, and I forget it.
We use it a lot in Galaxy Railway. Yes. Pretentious,
and I hate it whenever I see it anywhere. But I particularly hate it when I see it in anime because I feel maybe it's just me being stupid, but I feel like anime is more children. I'm adhering to my child side when I'm watching a lot of anime, and now you're trying to tell me what humanity is about. Go f*** yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you are being a little ridiculous.
A little bit. I could agree with that because there's plenty of mature anime.
Anime is pretty much primarily made for adults.
And not anymore. I mean, now it's made for teens.
Well,
either way, I get
not children.
No, yeah. But either way, I get that might be going a little tough on it.
But
it's come on. I
agree with you, but for different reasons. Because for some reason, people who create anime think they need to make this profound story and then stretch it out for 26 episodes, or
at least this was 12.
Yeah, stretch it out for a ridiculous amount of time, and you don't need to hammer the moral in every episode 13 times.
Especially when so many anime do it, it's
right, and
stop.
Yeah, just focus on telling an overarching. The last 3 episodes were kind of okay because they had
they actually had a little bit of story,
right? And it was interesting to there was something you can grasp onto. Mm-hmm. Whereas, you can only. I don't mind episodes of the week like you if the stories are interesting. If they're different.
They can be interesting. I'm not going to say they can't. Sometimes I do like them. But my biggest issue with it is it doesn't mean anything.
Right. And most of these ones are stupid. The first episode, it is about a dying sick kid who needs a cure, and his family disappears trying to get the cure, and it turns out his brother's evil.
I actually like these types of stories, but as OVAs. Give me 1 or 2 of them at the end of the show so I can see a day in this person's life in this world. I like that. But the whole fucking show being like that, it's terrible.
I like it when they sprinkle them out throughout the season.
That's okay.
As
a filler thing, character development.
Not so much really, a character development, and it adds to the story or something that. I like it when they do that.
But too much.
But when you go week to week, and literally 8 episodes of nothing happening, it is
You know, at the end of this episode, everything that happened in it won't matter, because next episode's a new one.
Right. Well, except for characters coming back.
A couple of those characters.
Yeah, a few of them. Well, I was going to say in the first episode, it wasn't the first episode, because they killed off that little brother right in the beginning. It tries to be dark, too.
Yeah, it does try to be dark. It doesn't really work.
It doesn't work, because the rest of it's so
shiny and perfect.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, everything's fine. And they try, but
let's eat marshmallows.
Yeah. It's weird.
We're out of money, so we could buy 18 packs of marshmallows. We're eating that every meal.
Oh.
What the f***? And that's how he saved the day at the end of the episode. He used his power to create a load of marshmallows.
Yeah, and then when you get to the backstories and stuff, his little assistant is being held and tortured and for her powers and stuff like that.
And just popped in my head, if you're out of money and you don't have, all you can buy is marshmallows, but you have a power that can create food, why not create steak? I mean, I'm assuming it's a diminishing return.
Yeah, I don't think he can create living matter, is what I got from it.
Well, marshmallows aren't living. Neither is steak.
That's true.
It's dead.
No, actually,
that being said, I would assume with something like that,
right.
I would assume with something kind of power like that, there's a diminishing return where you're not gaining as much nutrients as you're spending.
Maybe he can create the textures and the substance, but there isn't
no nutrients. That's possible.
Or
unless you're full.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Went a little deep there for no reason.
Yeah. I did like the one where the rich guy hired him, and he was trying to save his friends, but his friends were mutated into the animals. I did like that.
It's been like 30 years too, something like that. Like, you really think they're still alive?
And they were sort of, but they were mutated into this. I didn't like that they were mutated into the animals they were torturing.
Yeah, that was weird.
Because they were capturing different poison insects and stuff
and making them fight.
And making them fight.
Which they say is like, they said is like a pretty common thing for kids to do. Never once done that in my life or seen anyone do it. What the f***? That's not common. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not common.
Maybe it was common back in the day.
Maybe it's common in their culture.
Maybe it's common in China. It's possible.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, we are stupid Americans.
Apparently.
So.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. They turned into the bugs that they were...
Yeah, no, it was stupid. And then they couldn't cure them because apparently if they cured them, they kill them. It was like, okay, whatever. And it was just a bunch of stories like that. There was like this another one where this girl was and saving orphans, but she was killing wolves or something.
They kept calling her a Bloody Mary.
Yeah,
as if that's not an idiom, but some like a word or a phrase they use in their culture, because it didn't quite make sense. Because she's like pristine and everyone loves her, and then he's like, oh, if only they knew she was really a Bloody Mary, and walks away. And he says that a couple times, and it's like it's such a weird thing to say.
Maybe, but I kind of took it as like, Bloody Mary, the myth is like killer baby.
I was taking it as like she's two-faced, she's actually a bad person.
Possibly. I don't know.
Either way, it just felt weird.
I mean, Bloody Mary, the myth, she comes and kills and stuff like that.
Either way, it felt really weird.
Yeah, I mean,
just to insert
and the moral was kind of mixed up there because, yeah, she was killing these wolves and taking their organs and selling them on the black market. But
she's still saving children's lives.
She's still saving children's lives. She's still doing a lot of good.
I'll tell you what, I'm okay with that. I see no problem with that.
I'm just saying, how's she different from like a hunter or anything like that? I mean, granted, to
an extent, it's even better than being a hunter because you're physically saving someone's life. You're not just feeding them.
I mean, she is leading other people to their deaths.
Well, yeah, but they know where they're going. Yeah, they know it's dangerous,
and they're willingly dying for her too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Tricking them.
It's just the moral was a little lost on me.
Riddle.
They were like trying to do this nature, you must protect nature kind of thing, but they did a really poor job with it. It's like, and
even the moral superiority, they did a bad job.
Right. I mean, and I'm indifferent on either side of it, and I'm sure you're like, kill the animals, but
I'm not. But if you're going to be able to save someone's life, a human life, by killing a wolf, kill the animal. I would do that with my bare hands and sleep perfectly fine every single night.
Some people would disagree with you, but I'm not one of those people, so let's not get into that argument.
A human life is worth more than a wolf's life. I'll leave it there.
That's what
I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the humanist versus species debate.
99% of the world eats meat, so we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, well, vocal minorities.
That's true. Anyway, so a bunch of short stories, and then the last 3 episodes or so is a little bit of story.
It was a little bit of story. It was actually a full story, actually, the last 3
episodes.
Yeah, but they kind of sprinkled the backstory throughout the rest of the series.
You know what I don't like about the show as a whole is that every situation the main character gets put in, he's like toying with what he's fighting.
Oh yeah, he's super...
He knows what to do no matter what.
He's overpowered as hell. God. He's like immortal. I got the feeling he was a Mary Sue character. Do you know what a Mary Sue character is? That's what I got. It was like this overpowered super guy that, all the girls are in love with him and stuff like that. It really felt that way.
How old is his assistant, by the way? Because she's constantly complaining about not having big tits. He's not recognizing her as a woman.
So,
and she looks to be like 11.
I know he's about 16. He's not an adult.
Oh, still.
I know.
I feel like that age range is the wrong range.
I know. I got the impression, I know he was at least 16, and I got the impression she was anywhere from 12 to 14.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
Weird. So weird. And the forced sexuality that they gave her just felt bad.
Yeah.
Felt dirty and wrong.
She just wanted she always commented on the big breasts of other women. She was the one doing the sexuality, too.
Yes, she was the one. It just felt weird
she wanted to be a woman and stuff like that, and it was like,
yeah,
because
I gotta go take a shower now.
Because she's one of those little Lolita characters that the animes like.
Thank God he wasn't trying to sleep with her. That would have been a whole other problem.
He's the typical anime protagonist where
he's oblivious to it.
Yeah, he's oblivious to any advancements of any woman whatsoever because he's too pure for that kind of shit. Whatever.
That's all the time.
I know, it's annoying as hell.
It's probably a good thing in this case at the very least.
Yeah, well,
but other times it sucks.
But I feel bad calling her the big breasted girl all the time.
Blonde big tits.
Yeah, the blonde big titty girl. could have been an easy love interest for him.
Yeah.
I mean, even though
she was... the problem a lot of anime have.
But then again, he's like I said, he's like 16, and she felt like she was like 20.
She felt like she was 20 something.
Yeah. So
but the problem a lot of anime have is romance. They don't know how to write half-decent romance.
Yeah.
I'm not even asking for there to be romance, but if you're going to put it in there,
at least,
do it right.
At least give us something.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I did like, although they retroactive it in the end, is when they started the story, the antagonist went and put suicide bombers at each of the characters they introduced. So you didn't know if those characters were all dead by the end or not until, of course, they retro. Yeah. If they would have kept them dead, or at least killed one of them,
that would have been something.
It would have been more interesting. But it got pretty dark and interesting there, where at least the antagonist was.
Yeah.
Up until the point where he wasn't.
He had two scars overlapping each other on his face. We're slow roll that character development there, or creation.
At least his motivation, well, not even his motivation, his tactics, I'd say, were at least interesting, because his motivation was stupid. But
yeah, guys, don't watch it. I don't know what to tell you. It's not good.
I mean,
there's so many good ones you can watch.
That's true. There's plenty of good ones to watch, but this isn't the worst.
It isn't, but like I don't see what anyone gets out of things like this. Like, what are you getting out of watching this? It's not a good story, that's for sure.
Definitely
not that great action scenes.
It's definitely an average, middle of the road, boring anime. Yeah. And honestly, when we get to our scores, I'm probably going to give it a 5.
Yeah, but we're still going to put it above some of the other ones.
Yeah, but here's my thing. I'm beginning to think a 5 is worse than a 1.
You know what? I've been kind of thinking that too. A 1 you can enjoy for how terrible it is.
Or at least it gives you outrage to be outraged about it.
Whereas a 5, you're just like,
why
I fell asleep while watching an episode, like,
Why did I do this? Honestly, if I didn't have to watch it, I probably wouldn't have.
I didn't.
Like I said, I got some little things out of it here and there, and it wasn't terrible as far as some of the things we watched, but oh man.
So the last story for the last bit, let's get through that real quick.
Go ahead.
You find out that our main character with the black hair stole away. Oh, he had a trainer that we didn't even talk about.
Oh, yeah.
He has a trainer that's kind of irrelevant that trained him and told him if he ever sees this girl, he gives him a picture. You have to protect her no matter what. That's it. That's his whole plot.
We are so bad with names.
Especially with shows we don't care. Some shows we're like, yeah, this name, that name, that name. Yeah. Like Trigun, we named them all off.
Well, that's my favorite anime. It's not
mine, but I still named them all off.
Yeah, but you have memorabilia from it.
That's true. Yeah. Anyway, so our main character, if he finds this girl, he has to protect her. He ends up finding out she's at some sort of facility. How he found out, who knows. And he goes in, he rescues her, and gets her out. Essentially, they were testing her powers and trying to improve on him, and then try to control her for his benefits.
Yeah.
And the last 3 episodes, she gets captured, and he has to go get her.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, he kind of gets his ass kicked in those last episodes, but not really.
Yeah, not really.
I mean, he's still overpowered as hell. And it kind of felt like they're sequel baiting, too.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, the manhwa probably keeps going for a while.
Probably, because this one...
I doubt it ends right there.
Because this one there is a lot they did not answer.
There's a lot they didn't answer, but there's a lot I don't think they ever intended to answer. Like, a lot of his background and lore questions, I don't think they ever want to answer those things. It just is.
Right, that's fine, but, why did the continent rise? What's the deal with all those things?
Same lore. I don't think they'll ever care to answer any of that. I think it's poor writing.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But yeah, because I felt like it was too much missing to not have a sequel.
Yeah.
I mean,
it depends on how well it did, viewership-wise.
But Netflix owns it, right?
Yeah.
And Netflix kind of just renews everything.
Not everything. There's a lot of stuff they won't renew. But it got a 6 on my anime list, which is pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, out of 10, so technically middle of the road. But most are good or bad, and this is just meh.
Meh. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, 6 is too high, but...
Yeah, 6 is too high. I think a 4 or 5 is probably...
Yeah, I'm leaning toward a 5.
I'm leaning towards a 4, because like I said in the beginning, it's average, and then there's some bad parts.
Fair, but the bad parts aren't enough to bring it down for me.
4.5. I'll do that. I mean, round up if you want.
It's just... I'm trying to look for the words to explain what I'm trying to get at. You lose a point for really, really bad stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess there wasn't anything really, really bad.
I mean, it's just poor writing, and there's poor writing that can be good, So, it's like, it was a full, coherent story as much as it wasn't.
3 episodes.
But they still pulled it off. There are some shows we watched, they couldn't even pull that off.
That's fair. Alright, 5. I'll give it 5.
Yeah, so it's just like...
What are we,
At least they gave us something.
We got Virus Buster Surge.
Oh, God. Beautiful Joe. Oh, no.
Yeah, I think this is going to get the top spot.
Oh, wow. Because Beautiful Joe was miserable.
And so was Virus Buster Surge.
Yeah, I mean...
They're both terrible. I don't even know who I would put above each other.
Oh, Beautiful Joe is definitely dead last.
Yeah. So, Magmell, Virus, and then...
Yeah, I'm actually... might be leaning towards Virus.
Be top?
Yeah.
No, I could rewatch 12 episodes of this pretty easy. Virus, I think, was 24.
Was it 24? Oh.
Just on the pure standpoint of me, locking me in a room and making me watch more.
Right, but I mean, if Virus was 24, then yeah, I definitely agree with you. But Virus, if it was like less than that, then I would have to go with that, because at least that had something to it. But yeah.
Yeah, you full 5, right? That's what you were saying?
5. Yeah, well,
that's fair. You talked me into a 5.
I didn't really want to because it doesn't deserve it, but it is.
Yeah, I guess.
Factually, I feel.
So, category V is small, just like you, like the last one we had. Very, very small.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you're looking at it, most, I'd say 8 out of the 12 that are in there are 1 episode, 2 episode, 3 episode, or 1 6 episode. Then there's like 1 or 2 12 episodes, and then there's a couple 24. And everything looks terrible. There's only 2 things that look okay. I clicked on them all because it's such a short list.
And it's a short list, so there's a chance that we'll get...
Yeah, there's a chance we could get one of our things.
Yeah, so...
Let's spin it. Oh, volume's down.
Yep.
There you go. You can hear it now.
And now you're going to take it down. Hey, look at that. We got
Shawn's choice. Or not. Did it happen again? It happened again! You motherfucker.
It was right on the line.
Oh, man.
Variable Geo is what we actually got.
I mean, you know what? There's only 1 or 2 things I could have clicked on that would have been half decent, so that's what it is.
Down, right there.
Oh, for some reason I couldn't see it. Oh, 3 episodes. I'll do 3 episodes.
Yeah, 3 episodes is fine. Go ahead, read this plot summary.
Set in the future, VG, Variable Geo, where waitresses battle for honor, respect, and not to mention $10 million and a house in any city in the world. The losers lose more than the battle. They lose everything, including their clothes. That last goddamn word. I thought it would have been lives, no clothes.
Hold on, but you know what's funny? The tags are action, adventure, and fantasy. There's no Ichi tag.
Yeah, it could, like I was saying before and a couple other times, it could be whoever uploaded it didn't tag properly. Or it could be the time period.
Possibly.
It looks old from the cover art. If they uploaded it for like the inception of this website, Ichi might not have been quite a huge thing yet.
True. Why don't you click on the first episode and see how long it is?
I'm assuming 20. I imagine saying more than that.
20 minutes?
Yeah, well, 27 minutes, actually.
That's actually a full half hour.
Yeah.
It's rare that you get an anime that's a full half hour.
Probably because it's smaller.
Well, to be fair, though, they normally are a half hour, but
commercials.
But they're commercials, and we usually skip right over the intros.
Yes, yeah, and the outros.
Yeah. It's very few in between that we actually watch that.
Sorry for all the clicking there. Alright, guys, next week, episode I did it. Variable Geo.
Variable Geo. All right.
See you.
Bye.